Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Man, I'm so excited to be here. Y'all have no idea when you miss the flow. Sometimes it just throw you way off. Again, thank you so much. The Don Miller Show, Drinking and Judging with Real Rap Kane. Jay Kane, hey, man.
Hey, man.
I see them Eagles trying to prove a point.
Yeah. I mean, this was intentional.
Okay, I see those Eagles are trying to prove a point.
They proving it.
Thank you so much, everybody. Podcast Doctor over there in the corner.
Hello.
Man, listen, we are going to have a good time tonight. We're going to have a real conversation. Again, thank you so much, Phil, Podcast Doctor, for putting me in the right spot. Y'all know I move, so the camera got, I shift often. When you get old, you shift, right? And so I just got to kind of stay in one place and do this show. So, again, thank you so much, everybody. Phil, can we shout out my man in the studio with us, please, sir? Please do that for me. Please.
I got to give a shout out to Dean from Post FX Media. He's also here. We built this new set together.
Absolutely.
He's not on camera, but he's here.
Dean from Post.
Dope.
Oh,
this
man.
set is dope.
This is beautiful, right? This is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, you guys. You have no idea how much I appreciate you guys. Well, listen, a lot going on. I've been getting a lot of phone calls on my Friday broadcast, my radio broadcast. There were a lot of people asking me my thoughts on Herschel Walker, who is in a very tight race. And many people are saying that Reverend Raphael Warnock, who was the pastor of the Ebenezer Baptist Church, Dr. King's former church, was a really bright guy. He's a PhD, Morehouse graduate, really, really smart black preacher, right, is running for the United States Senate. He was appointed to the position. Well, it was a short-term appointment to replace someone else, and now the Republican nominee is Herschel Walker, who actually was one of my favorite football players, right, who never really, if you followed his career, avoided a tackle. He kind of just ran people over, right? Herschel Walker was a really good football player. Super fast, strong guy. Yeah. Played at the University of Georgia. Yeah. Probably broke every record, I'm sure. And now he's running for United States Senate. But Herschel Walker has an interesting history outside of football, right?
Very interesting.
And so he is running. He is running in what some people believe is a tight race. I personally, because I've been in this a long time, think Herschel Walker is winning, right? Because you got to understand who votes in Georgia, right? And Herschel Walker has done a brilliant job playing to those who vote in Georgia. Now, black folk, y'all can take this any way y'all want to take this, right? It ain't my fault that you got a bunch of Negroes in Georgia who don't vote. Okay, so don't listen to me. Let's be clear, right? So Herschel Walker is in a tight race, right? Why is it a tight race? Because Negroes don't vote, okay? Shame on you. But as a conservative, I'm yay for Herschel Walker, even though I know this gentleman should be in somebody's clinic dealing with his CTE, right?
He said he's received treatment. He said he don't need further treatment. He talked to his pastor for any treatment he need today.
Okay, so he talked to his pastor. His pastor said, you good, right?
That's what
Herschel Walker has
what I got out of
CTE.
it.
First of all, Herschel Walker wasn't the brightest light in the lamp before he got hit in the head 4,827 times, right? Now he's really in a bad place. Ex-wife, ex-girlfriend comes out, says, as he speaks adamantly against abortion, you paid for an abortion. And Herschel Walker.
No. That was a jump off.
Okay, well, the jump off, ex-girlfriend said you paid for an abortion. Yeah. Okay, and he says, I didn't pay for an abortion. She said, yes, you did. I got
the receipts.
I got a check. No, it's not a receipt. It's a check. You gave me a check for $700. Now, there's a whole lot of jump offs got some $700 checks. If it don't say for abortion in the memo, come on now. Come on. Jump offs, there's a lot of jump offs and got checks. So
yeah, I understand
okay,
that.
Who among us? I never gave a jump off a check, but I surely had a jump off. Okay?
No, but what they did with the check though, they looked at the day he gave her the money and looked at the date of her procedure, and the cost of that was $700. So that kind of coincided together.
So Herschel Walker paid for an abortion.
So we dealing with a coinky dick. Right?
Herschel Walker paid for an abortion.
Yeah.
So why are we giving two shits about Herschel Walker's run against this black pastor with this PhD? And I watched that debate the other night, Jay, and I encouraged my friends to watch that debate the other night. And Herschel Walker, who who could do everything with a football except autograph it, held his own with the PhD.
To an extent.
Yeah, come on.
To an extent.
Come on. Okay? This dude ain't.
To an extent.
He said, I ain't smart. You are. Okay? Let me just say this because I'm going to take this show somewhere, Jay, that I need people to understand what's being happening. Is Herschel Walker, let's get to the other guy real quick before we bring the conversation around. So the other guy in this conversation is one Kanye West, right?
Oh, you totally went different direction.
Who've acknowledged his bipolar disorder, who many, even the Forbes magazine people said, this dude's got more than $1 billion, might be $2 or $3 billion.
They said like 6.
Right. He may be one of the richest, if not the richest black man in the top 4 in America, right? Yeah. Kanye West is spiraling at a rate that I've never seen anybody publicly spiral at, or maybe he's not.
You see, I sat back because I can't agree. I can't agree with the
maybe
spiral.
he's not. You follow me?
Yeah.
There are people who think Kanye West is off his whacker. He's saying things about the Jews. How dare anyone say things about the Jews? And I want to say something real quick, and you can take this the way you take it. Don Miller said this. The views and opinions right here on this podcast, that's my shit. It's my shit right here. How dare black people attack this guy? But black people don't value freedom of speech. We don't. The Negro has no value for freedom of speech. And we're the main people talking about the freedoms being taken. Kanye's opinion is Kanye's opinion. How we canceling a guy for his opinion? And shame on J.P. Morgan Chase, who told him, take your money, we're closing, we don't want your business, but you kept. Guess whose business J.P. Morgan Chase kept? The largest purveyor of children in the history of this country. The pervert from Miami who allegedly killed himself. Come on. Y'all know who I'm talking about?
No, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Come on, y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They kept
Yeah.
Epstein's money in the bank.
Yeah.
Epstein had sex with children. They didn't close his accounts. Go look.
Because he ain't say nothing towards them. And he ain't mess with little Jewish girls.
Go look. They told Kanye, take your money, we out. But Epstein, right?
Yeah.
Who had sex with children, he's a piece of shit, guys. Epstein and his whole crew, including William Jefferson Clinton and all those people who hung out with Epstein are pieces of shit, right? Let's go look.
Yeah.
If you hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. That's a lot, too.
He's the largest purveyor of children. Go look at the documentaries. It ain't just one, it's several. Then he kills himself. Oops.
Allegedly.
Right? J.P. Morgan Chase never closed his accounts.
Yeah.
So let's be clear here. I want to have a real conversation. Is Kanye and Herschel weapons of mass distraction? Is something going on that we should be focused on, but they got us focused on these two? These are two sick men. These two gentlemen need doctors in their lives. Not PR people, not other media people, not girlfriends. They need doctors, man.
I think there's two distinct differences between these two men.
Go for it.
Right? When you look at Kanye, he's not as crazy as people think he is.
I don't think he's crazy at all.
Listen to some of the stuff he say. It may be something that he may say that is so far against the grain that it seems crazy, right? But if you actually listen to the words of him break it down, now he was dead wrong about the George Floyd situation, saying he died from fentanyl. That was a secondary cause along with his heart disease. The primary cause, according to the medical examiner, was the knee on his neck. Right? That's not debatable. We
saw that, right?
Right. So, but when he spoke on the Jews, I think the Jews are so much of. I think people are so afraid to talk about Jews. And I'm be honest. People are so afraid to have that conversation with the real history and the real things that they control, right? That to go against them is to go bankrupt, pretty much. It's career suicide when you're on that level, right? Because they control media, they control retail, they control design world, they control all the things that everybody love, right?
Right.
So when you play on that kind of scale, to say something about the Jewish controllers and powers that be is like suicide, right?
Right.
When it comes to Herschel Walker, there's nothing. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't mean take it how you want. There's nothing genius about this guy, right?
Wait.
No.
The great thing about Herschel Walker is he has told us.
No.
He's a dummy.
No, but this is the two distinct differences of what I'm saying, right?
Right.
Herschel Walker's being controlled. He got a puppeteer.
Right. No question.
Right?
Right.
There's somebody that's putting words in his mouth, telling him he can't even execute that part, right? A la Joe Biden. But we're going to let it alone.
Okay.
But, he has things that people are telling him to say. And the only thing he can get up there and say is he voted with Joe 96% of the time. Okay, well, I got that part. I think everybody with half a brain understands his record on voting, right?
Right.
But there's two distinct differences where Warnock get to that microphone and he speaks. It's eloquent, right? He can articulate.
Absolutely.
Right? Herschel Walker, I need a bouncing ball because I'm going to go.
But again, though, when you listen to Herschel Walker, we got that clip. I want to play this Herschel Walker clip.
And show the badge, though. Let him pull out the badge.
Look, I got a badge.
No,
they might say my badge is fake.
No,
okay?
let him pull out that part was funny, though.
Okay. I played the Herschel Walker clip, right?
Which one?
Of him at the press conference standing outside. And and this is why I want you to listen to this. And when we hear this clip, I want you to think about this. You ready? Go for it.
October the 14th, he's going to show up and we're going to debate and we're going to see whether he wants to debate if he shows up. I told him to put his big man pants on, and I think he put them on and finally decided to come, so I'm happy that he's going to come in his hometown here in Savannah, so it's going to be a good debate.
Sir, you have not agreed to do debates before this one, so you mentioned Senator Warnock, you had to get him to do this one, but he couldn't get you to do other ones.
That's not true. That is totally not true. Wait, you got to answer the question. Don't tell a lie. Don't tell a lie. No, I know the question you're going to ask. I haven't agreed to do his debate because his debate wasn't a fair debate, and it's not good to do a fair debate. A fair debate is to do it in front of the voters. And I've agreed. I said, if Senator Warnock come to Savannah, Georgia, in front of people and do the debate, show up, do one. Don't be talking about something else. You haven't even shown up yet. Make sure you show up at this one. If you bring him to this debate, drive him here, do the debate, then we can talk about other stuff. Right now, I don't think he's showing up because he don't want to talk about the issues. You know that.
So what kind of preparation are you doing?
Talking to the voters.
Okay.
Talking to you.
Stop it right there, right? Why does he sound like my Uncle Willie that was born in the summer of 29 in Rosedale, Mississippi? Okay? Why does this guy sound like my Uncle Willie who never ever seen the inside of a schoolhouse, right? Why does he sound like this? He went to college for 3 years, right? He left after the third year to go pro.
No. Let's be honest. He didn't go to college for 3 years. He played college football for 3 years. There's a very distinct difference.
Okay.
We're not going to play that game.
He was just somewhere.
He played football at University of Georgia for 3 years. That's what happened.
So he didn't take an English class, right? Right? He didn't take an English class.
That's clear.
Okay.
He didn't take a public speaking class. There's a lot of classes you skipped out on.
You got the rest of that clip. Can we play a little more of that clip? Because I want to make a point. Did you still got it? I want to make a point. Listen to this. This is very important.
I'm not that smart, and he's that preacher. He's a smart man, wear these nice suits. So he's going to show up and embarrass me at the debate October the 14th. And I'm just waiting. I'll show up, and I'm going to do my best.
Stop it right there.
But he's being condescending on that.
You see that cop texting his friends like, this guy's an idiot.
Listen to me, man.
He was being condescending right
no,
there.
He
though.
wasn't.
Yes, he was.
I don't care how condescending. He said, I'm not that smart.
He was making a mockery
He said, I'm not that smart. He knows he's not that smart.
No, I don't believe he thinks that. I think he was making a mockery out. I think
Listen
he's being
to me. I'm telling you right now, right? Why are we giving two shits? The educated black pastor of the giant church, the historic church, the guy who went to theology school as a PhD is standing next to a guy who you say didn't even go to college.
No, he went to.
He just played football.
He played football,
right?
I say he didn't go to class. He went to college.
Okay. The point I'm making is why. Listen to me. Why is this a close race? And I'll tell you why I think it is. Herschel Walker said, I'm not that smart. I'm talking to the people. What is the demographic of the state of Georgia? It's not them Negroes in the Atlanta region, okay? That they don't count that, quite frankly. It wouldn't even be a battle if they engaged properly. Yes or no?
No, that's a fact.
Okay? The problem, this is my situation here. I am offended. You telling me, as a conservative, you're telling me this the best you can find? There's no black guy in Atlanta that's a conservative. You know what?
You got to frame it right. You know why?
Come on, tell me why.
He's a well-known Hall of Fame running back, right? Well-known, right? So here they're going for him. The biggest problem that new candidates have is what? Awareness of who they are.
Absolutely,
right? So he already had the awareness part working for him, right? Football is America's sport. Let's keep it all the way real, right? So everybody,
especially in Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi.
And he's a homegrown boy.
He's
homegrown.
Yeah, I go right over there and pick up that bell.
And what party does he represent?
Right. Listen to me. The point is, I'm a conservative. We got to do better over here.
Hey, man, it's simple mathematics, man.
This dude right here.
Same way Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor of California.
It goes back, right? One of our people in the thread just said Mel Gibson got in trouble,
10 years. Yeah, 10 years timeout.
Okay? For
anti-Semitic
comments, right?
Correct.
The point is, we have to really understand that you're going to either play this game or you're going to sit in the stands or you're going to be on the field. Okay? And I am not going to be mad at Kanye West for deciding to come out of the stands and be on the field. And if it's to his demise, it's to his demise.
If he dies, he dies.
But for people who say that the Jewish community ain't powerful to the extent that many people say, let's go down the list, right? Who's in the owner's box, right? Arthur Blank, the Falcons, right? Falcons owner, right? He's Jewish, right? Robert Kraft, Jewish, the Patriots owner, the Buccaneers owner, the Colts owner, the Eagles owner, Jeffrey Lurie, the Dolphins owner, the entire NFL. Yes or no, guys?
Enough of it.
Okay?
More than enough.
Steve Tash, the Giants, the Vikings, right? The entire NFL for the most part. Go look at the NBA.
It's not as dominant as it once was.
But go look. Still, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
How many record labels, right? Even some of the most grimy ass record labels.
Not the record labels. It's the distribution.
Distribution, right? Some of the most grimy, kill your mama, throw out the window, and rob everybody in the neighborhood, take their shit and run.
They own distribution by the Jews.
Right.
They're independent black-owned labels,
right,
quote unquote. But
so come on. So when people like Kanye make statements, we got to be careful, guys. When people like Kanye ain't dumb.
Yeah.
Stop saying he's dumb, black folk. Now,
he's far from dumb.
Is he saying what you won't say? Yeah.
He's going against the grain.
But at $6 billion or $4 billion or $2 billion, he can go against the grain. Listen to me. Stop canceling people. We didn't cancel some of these POS preachers who had sex with children in our community. Yes or no? We did not cancel Eddie Long, who's a homosexual, had sex with children. We didn't cancel. We prayed for him. Right?
No, y'all prayed for him.
I know. I didn't pray for his punk ass. He sued me. But the point I'm making is this, right? The fact of the matter is, why can't black people be okay with other black people not riding the train? Why can't we be okay with just, look, everybody ain't going to think alike. Why can't we be like, you know what, I disagree with what he's saying and keep it moving? Why we got to cancel people?
But you can't cancel. I mean, come on, man.
Why we just can't be like, I ain't with all that, what he's saying? Come on, Jay.
I mean, I don't got the answer to that, man. I'm going to be honest.
Jay, I sit with dudes all the time. You sit with dudes all the time that we vehemently disagree with, right?
Yeah.
There's some brothers I sit with right now mad at me because they think I got another brother put out because he wanted to fight a black woman, and when you Negroes say you woke. Huh?
I was there that day, Don.
He wanted to fight a black woman. Ain't nobody saying nothing. I was like, get this Negro out of here. They like, we woke. No, you're not. You're playing a game, and you need a jester. Okay? Listen to me. There's a special place in hell for those who don't take a position. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm with you on
That's
that.
that special place. There's a
I'm
little
with you on
corner in
that.
hell, okay, with some hot drinks, okay? Where you drinking hot drinks in hot weather.
But you know, people are more comfortable with the status quo than going against it.
I know, man.
So that's the part that you really got to evaluate and really,
I know, man.
really fully evaluate, though, right? You know what I mean? Because anything that's going to, in their mind, make them lose their level of comfort is going to be an issue.
Yeah.
And that's really, I mean,
Oh, God. You know, I just wanted to do this because I think that both at this moment in the society, at this moment in America, both Kanye West and Herschel Walker are weapons of mass distraction. There are some things that are going on.
I think Herschel more than Kanye.
I think Kanye has the right to say whatever he wants to say in a country that has rang the bell of freedom of speech, right? To such an extent, this guy's getting ready to spend hundreds of millions of dollars buying Parler, right?
Mm-hmm.
A platform where freedom of speech is pushed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why does he have to do that, right? Because when you black, let me explain something to you. I'm going to take this moment right here on this show to tell you about when the 27 people from the LGBT community came and marched outside of the studio I was in, right? They say Don Miller is xenophobic. I didn't know what the hell xenophobic was. All I said, we don't need to be teaching 6-year-olds about transgender. You know what I mean? I said, if you call me xenophobic, because I think we shouldn't be teaching 6-year-old kids in a public school about whatever the hell you call it, right? Mm-hmm. Then they march in front of the studio, right? Mm-hmm. I'll get him down with him. But let me explain something to you about me. I represent a higher calling than you punk-ass bitches. And I walked right outside and talked to him. I walked outside the studio and talked to him. Yeah. And they all was like, they left.
Yeah.
And I want to shout out my friend Randy Ross, right, who's a part of the LGBT community. He's an outcast of the LGBT community because he agrees that there's certain things we shouldn't teach.
No, not in no middle school. Not even in high school.
But Jay, as a black man, Jay, you spent 20 plus years in the military. Jay, as a black man, you know there's certain things we can't say.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Freedom of speech is freedom of speech.
Nah, that come with an asterisk.
That's the problem I'm talking about.
That come with an asterisk.
Kanye West.
You gotta read the fine print, as I was told on multiple occasions on this show.
Kanye West is speaking on behalf of Kanye West, not the entire black community. So if the Jewish community is up in arms, Mr. West, that's on Mr. West. But black folk, we need to stand down, right? Because if you read, Jay, how much stuff has he said wrong?
That's what I was about to ask.
Go ahead.
I know that's the question. No, you tracking, because that was the question I was about to ask. What has he really said wrong that was out of line and out of place? Right? I think the hardest part of anything, especially something as powerful as that, is starting the conversation. Right? So I look at Kanye as almost like a sacrificial lamb with starting the conversation. Be willing to start the conversation.
Don, move to your left.
Oh no, yeah,
okay. I'm still here.
He's trying to get right.
I'm still here.
It's people, he's not the first one to bring this to the forefront.
But I think we got to recognize something too, right? Listen to me. There's one of the most powerful communities in this country, and I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that.
No, it's probably the most powerful, man. We got to call it a spade.
Absolutely, right? Because I just believe that we got to be careful when we start canceling people for their opinions. And I want to get to the George Floyd moment.
Is that an opinion or more of a fact, though? Is he borderline more on fact or opinion?
Kanye was fact.
Oh, okay. That's all.
Okay, especially in that conversation.
Okay.
The George Floyd conversation.
He was wrong. He was dead wrong for that.
I don't know if he was dead wrong for that.
He was dead wrong.
Think Kanye, again, is following somebody else's narrative on that, right? But I'll say it right here on this microphone. George Floyd was a victim, not a hero. We got to be careful with this whole pumping people up to be heroes. George Floyd was murdered at the hands of that terrible cop that day. But he was truly a victim, but not a hero. When you put a statue up, and there's no Emmett Till statue, who was a young boy who went to Mississippi on summer vacation, who was murdered viciously by some racist-ass white folk, right, who pushed this movement to bring about the conversation of Jim Crow and segregation in the Deep South, right? In a 42-year period, almost 5 million Negroes fled the South, going north.
Northern migration.
Right? Great book. Isabel Wilkerson, I love her so much. The Warmth of Other Suns. I encourage you to read it. Emmett Till should have a statue. When you put up a statue for George Floyd, who was a victim, not a hero, you got to understand there are people that's not going to sit well with, right? And black people are the only people that start at the point we're told to start at, right? Listen, Kanye, I don't know, Kanye's being driven in a direction, and I know where it's coming from, and he probably shouldn't have said what he said without absolute proof. But the fact of the matter is, we got to be careful who we make heroes in this era.
No, I'm okay with that point. He still was dead wrong. I mean,
I'm not saying he wasn't wrong. He was wrong. He was wrong. He was blatantly wrong.
Like when you because what that does, when you say on a microphone on a platform as big as Drink Champs, right? That has big sponsorships, it get pushed out. They videos is in the millions of views on average, right? So when you push out a narrative of this young man was killed because of a drug abuse.
No. He said worse than that. He said the knee didn't do it.
No, this is what he said.
Yeah.
He said George Floyd died from fentanyl. Fentanyl killed George Floyd. That's what he said. Quote unquote. He said fentanyl killed George Floyd, right? That's dead wrong, right? His folks are still in pain. They still in mourning. Like there's a whole nother, when you get in front of these microphones, I said this back in December on one of my videos, there has to be a level of etiquette and responsibility that comes with the words that come out of your mouth when you have that big of a platform.
Absolutely.
No matter how big of your platform you got. If one person watches that video, there's a level of responsibility that comes with the words that come out of your mouth.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That guy's family is re-victimized because what you're saying is that cop had nothing to do with killing him. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
There's no other way to frame
exactly what he was saying.
So when you say that, that's exactly, you're re-victimizing people who are trying to heal.
But would you?
That's like them saying somebody saying something about his mother. How
would
well
you?
he take
Would
that?
you agree?
No, answer that question first.
No, he would probably flip. He would go off the deep. He would go off the deep end.
Oh, your mom.
He would go off the deep
Your
end.
mom didn't die from the result of her breast surgery. She
Right.
died because she hit the weed too many times.
Okay, but when you go off the deep end, which he's off the deep end, would you concur?
To an extent.
There are people.
He's well aware of what he's saying.
The
deep end is when you lose sight of what you're saying.
There are people who love to see people at the place that he's at, right?
Yeah.
And I
Especially
think
how big of a force he is, yeah.
And I think that these people are moving toward him and not from him, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Kanye, and guess who's running away from Kanye?
All the real people that love him.
Absolutely.
No,
and that's the point. And the people, the vultures, right,
Yeah.
are moving toward him and at great speed, right? The people that love Kanye, Rhyme Fest, and many of the Chi-Town homies, right, they're gone already. The thinkers that was in his life, they knew he was on
He
meds.
need yes men at this point. And
No, you know, he's bouncing around from hotel to hotel. You know, he put his penis in a Kardashian, which I think is like signing a deal with the devil anyway, right? And I hate to say that. That sounds horrible. But,
No, it doesn't.
Okay, that sounds really horrible.
No, it doesn't.
But the fact of the matter is, why is this getting so much attention? Right now, I know there are people in this country, I've talked to some this week in the last few days, that said this is hurting the conversation about voting in the midterms, right? Think about this, right? There are people more interested in Kanye's ridiculousness, right? And Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker, you got to understand, Georgia is a different conversation. Those people who live in Georgia love those dogs, okay? Herschel Walker is a live dog, right? Right?
Yeah.
Herschel Walker going
That's why he's a great candidate. No, just being honest.
Herschel Walker going to get votes. There's nothing you could tell some of those people in Georgia, right, about Herschel Walker. He's their guy, right? So I don't understand how this educated PhD pastor, you got a clip from that, I'm going to just say this, right? I want to play a clip from this debate, and I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm like, dude, he could have torn Herschel Walker a new ass. But it's like, I don't know if he's Jesus, or he's got something to hide. Play that clip.
The cost of prescription drugs for seniors, so they don't have to choose between buying medicine and buying groceries. And one caps the cost of insulin.
And unless you have an eating right, insulin is doing you no good. So you have to get food prices down, and you got to get gas down so they can go get insulin.
And on crime.
He's empowered criminals to think they're better than the police.
One thing I have not done, I've never pretended to be a police officer.
Okay, wait.
And
Go, hold on to that.
Walker quickly attached incumbent Raphael Warnock to President Biden and the economy.
President Biden won and Senator Warnock won. That's the reason I decided to run. In this area, most people live paycheck to paycheck. And when you have inflation the way he's brought inflation on, how in the world can you buy grocery or gas for your family?
Okay,
There's no
stop right
question
there.
that people
Jay, his base thought this was brilliant. Yes or no?
His base must don't have more than third grade education.
Okay, he don't have more than third grade education, but it ain't about education.
No, it's
at
not.
this point.
It's about the optics.
It's right.
It's about
Okay,
optics.
I think this dude won the debate. I think Herschel Walker won the debate.
No, I don't think you think he won a debate. I think he did better than you thought he would do.
Let me tell you something.
I
A
think that's
guy
what
like
happened.
this doing better than I thought he would do is winning.
No, that's
Especially-
why your money won. Because
When he's
it's
going,
like,
when he's going against a PhD,
it's not like there's no way this kid
right? He's
trying to
like,
hug
I
in there
mean,
with this grown man. That's what you're thinking.
I'm saying, who brought the third grader? You know what I mean? Absolutely, right? Could Kanye, surrounded by publicists and managers, use bipolar?
Absolutely, he could.
Absolutely, and he will.
I don't think
And
he
he
I
will.
don't think he's because Don.
Dean Baker, thank you so much for that.
I don't think he's one. I think he's everything he's saying he want to stand on. I'm just being honest. I don't think he want to make excuses for what he's saying.
I think Kanye's found himself. Kanye's a man without a country right now, right?
That's accurate.
Okay, and you got to understand, if you got that kind of money, right, and you don't trust anybody, and the only person you trusted and loved, right,
It's gone.
is gone, right? The level of exposure you have to your children. Now, I granted, based on your behavior, I don't know if that's a
Man,
tough
come on.
one.
No, that's not a tough.
That's a
Come
tough
on,
one, right?
We're not going to play with that.
Let me think about this.
We're
If
not gonna play
Kanye
with
was the average black guy who moved across the street, they would have called him a stalker. They would have called him a
I
stalker.
got two things for you.
Okay.
The average black guy can't afford to pick up and move across the street for his baby mama. One.
Okay, good.
Two, the average black guy ain't going to dare say none of the shit that he said.
Right, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
we got to keep this in perspective.
But money has taken him off of the stalker list. Yes or no?
that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
I am concerned.
He's not standing in front of a house.
Okay. Michelle Ross Robertson said it's Cervantes. Kanye is brilliant. You know, I've had this conversation on
He's
many
not
occasions.
a dumb guy. I think people need to understand
Yeah,
this.
he's not at all.
He's
No,
not
no,
Herschel
he's-
Walker. That's why I said it's
this
not
is
the
why
two same
this
thing.
is why I'm making this. This is why this show tonight is bringing about this conversation on both ends of this. You got one guy who's really smart, then you got a guy with a third or fourth grade education who is probably suffering from CTE.
But you know, there's a fine line between genius and insanity.
Okay, but Herschel Walker is probably going to
No, I'm
get.
not talking about Herschel Walker. I'm talking about guy.
Herschel's going to get 1 million people to vote for
At
him.
least. At least.
Think about
Now, I
this,
won't
right?
be surprised. Listen, we've seen Arnold Schwarzenegger win governor of California.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't dumb.
I didn't say he was dumb.
Okay.
He went from Terminator to terminating the office. That's all I'm saying.
The point
I'm
is,
just saying, there is no... Come on,
listen to
man.
me. Herschel Walker was a brilliant football player, one of the best I've ever seen, right? He has no business running for office.
What makes you a brilliant football player at that stage? You know, because today is more analytical.
Okay.
Then it was grabbing the ball going straight.
Yeah, that's what he did, and he did
Okay,
it well.
what made it brilliant?
He,
though?
he was
I'm trying to
good. He
understand.
was one of the
Okay.
best I've ever
Okay.
seen, right?
I don't think brilliance is the right
Okay,
word,
well,
though.
he was one of the best I've ever seen, right?
Talented. I give you talented.
Okay, but the point is, right? Again, he goes back, and I've said this before about many athletes, right? And I spent many years in that environment. He could do everything with a football except autograph it. They knew this.
Yeah.
They knew this.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They both, to me, are distracting the American people, especially black people, away from what we should be focused on. We got to look at what's happening right now. We have a president that's not there, right? Probably ain't been there in the last.
He's there. They bringing stuff to his bed.
Okay, right?
He's signing off from his bed.
The fact is, right? Look at what's happening with the economy. Inflation's nuts. We're on the cusp of a serious recession.
Yeah, another housing crash.
A housing crash, and all these people who bought these houses, all these people who ran down to Florida and paid too much money, okay, that didn't get hit by the storm, right? We are in a very interesting place. And there's a war looming in the Ukraine, right?
Well, there's a war looming in China with China.
Right. You follow me?
I thought you was going to say.
No, for real, right?
Yeah.
But we are focused on a rapper and a washed-up football player who paid $700 for an abortion in the summer of whatever year it was, right? Why? Why do we care if Herschel Walker paid for the abortion or didn't? You know how many politicians, Newt Gingrich, anybody remember the name Newt Gingrich? Newt Gingrich's wife bust him out when he was adamantly against abortion. You see, because black folk, y'all need to stop and go read something. Herschel Walker ain't the first dude paid for an abortion. Don Miller paid for an abortion and found out that I didn't even pay for the abortion because I saw her 6 months later, she was still pregnant by another dude, okay? So I just gave her $500, right? The point is, now he's against abortion. So they want to bust him out. That's not the lick. The lick is he's not knowledgeable enough to represent the state of Georgia.
That should be the key.
Not the fact that he paid for an abortion and lied about it.
That should be the key.
You know how many people on Capitol Hill paid for abortions and lied about it? All of them. So we focused on, did he pay for the abortion? Come on. And black folk, we need to stand down. Stop letting our enemy pick our enemy. Herschel Walker is a goofball-ass black guy who was a really good football player who didn't have a mentor. You follow me? I know people who didn't have mentors, right? If you don't have a mentor, somebody who loves you for real, not a booster, but a mentor. There's a difference between a bull gator and a mentor, right? I'm saying, why do we care that Herschel Walker lied about paying for an abortion? Many of you wives out there there today.
It's good rhetoric.
Many of you wives out there today, your husbands and paid for abortion. Many of you guys singing praises to Jesus Christ at some of these churches all across this country have paid for abortions. I paid for abortion. I told y'all the story on the Don Miller Show many years ago. She told me, she's like, I don't want to have the baby. And I was like, well, I don't either. How much? And I gave her $500. And a few months later, I was in the mall. And I saw her holding hands with this big football player guy, and she was pregnant. And I was like,
you paid for their first abortion.
No, what I paid for was some shoes. Okay? The fact of the matter is, right, why is that a problem? And especially those, like, I'm finna say this on the phone, on a show. I said I wasn't going to do this. My friend Kim, who texted me. Kim, you are Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Kim is Jesus, 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 more than D'Amica Page, right? And nobody's more Jesus-filled than D'Amica Page, right? D'Amica Page is Jesus, 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 Jesus all the time, right? Kim texts like, what do you mean? Kim, you need to stand down. You need to stand down, Kim.
You're saying she ain't got a leg to stand on.
She ain't got a leg to stand on. You know Jesus today. Okay? You really can't do that on the show. Okay.
Wow.
Kim.
Wow.
Kim called me. I can't believe you ain't going against Herschel Walker. But I'm like, why? Because he paid for an abortion. But you sold vagina. Now that you have Jesus.
Gosh almighty, that escalated.
No, we got to be, can we be serious for a minute?
Nah, go ahead.
When you sold vagina.
You saying she was hypocritical?
100%. And many of these people that's judging this clown who's running for Senate, who has CTE, so it's really not a clown, he's a sick fella. Something's wrong with this guy, right? Don't judge him, right? The fact is, my friend, who I know sold her body.
That was just commerce for it. That wasn't.
She sold her body.
Yeah,
She's
that
like,
was commerce,
she's
though.
like, the Lord, I know the Lord. You know the Lord today. When you was at Rachel's, did you or did you not know the Lord?
The Lord was helping her dance.
When you was at the dollhouse, did you or did you not know the Lord? When you was in the Motel 6 on 441 with a white guy from Connecticut for $200, did you or did you not know the Lord? The point I make is this. Stop judging people right now. We got to stop this. We got to go quickly to stop this. Mm-hmm. So Herschel Walker is truly unqualified to be a senator from Georgia. Right?
Yeah, that's my beef.
He's truly unqualified.
That's my beef.
But we can't pick the fact that he lied about having paying for an
I don't
abortion.
care about that.
Nobody cares. But I can tell you who else ain't qualified. The black pastor.
Yeah, he ran out her resume.
The black pastor ain't qualified. He ain't qualified because he works for Jesus and won't take the position of the word of God on the very thing Herschel Walker paid.
He did take a position.
What was his position?
His position he said that he's a firm believer that no one has the right to tell that woman what to do with her body. He did take a position.
But what does the Bible that he gets his check from say?
Not to do that.
Right. You follow me? So this is what's confusing to me,
I'm just
right?
saying, but
The book that he makes his money off of says one thing, but the constituency says another, right? So it's all screwed up. Neither one of those gentlemen are quite. Black people, we need to stop voting for these bogus-ass pastors, too. They had this pastor in Orlando run for office, and he is 100% clown running for Congress. He got like, he probably, what did he get? He got less votes than he had members. His members didn't even vote for his. Anyway, I'm just saying this, right? Let's call it like we see it. Both of these gentlemen are weapons of mass distraction.
I mean, do you think it's a coincidence they picked two black men?
No.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not.
What was the reason you think they picked two black men?
Listen to me, because the same reason the last 7 movies to get critical acclaim was about slaves and butlers. Narrative. Guess what's breaking in December? A new movie. Will Smith.
Ain't Emmett Till movie coming out?
Emmett Till coming out. And they say in the Emmett Till trailer, there would be no violence against black people. How you going to do an Emmett Till movie with no violence against black people? You know this is narrative.
Maybe they got Emmett Till still living. I don't know.
The point is, listen to me. We have to stop letting our enemy pick our enemy. Mm-hmm. I don't think either one of the gentlemen running for office in Georgia are qualified. Just because the black guy, the man of God, who ain't even standing on the man of God's commitment and word, why he qualified? Because he's articulate?
He got it by default, right?
Yeah, he's articulate. They like him because he's articulate. It ain't amazing when you black and you speak well. Hi, my name's Don Miller. I remember my first
you speak
job.
so well.
I remember my first job. I called this lady.
Be a nice guy.
I called this job. I'll never forget this. The lady asked me my name. I told her my real government name. And she said, well, be here tomorrow. And I show up tomorrow, and I'm dressed up. I got my suit on, and I'm the only black person in the waiting room. And she called everybody before it was my turn. And I said, ma'am, you didn't call my name. And I've been waiting. She's like, what's your name? And I said, well, I talked to Margaret, and she said, I'll never forget this. I told this story on air. Mm-hmm. She said, I had the job. And she's like, well, I'm sorry, Margaret's not here, and we already hired somebody. Like, how? Because I showed up. I sounded
one way,
like this one guy, and I arrived like this other dude, right? Mm-hmm. So we are engaged in this very behavior that is setting us back. So shame on us for not recognizing that if you say you work for Jesus and Jesus' word says this is how we ride on this issue, then how are you riding against this issue and you work for Jesus? Then you a contradiction. So, Mr. Pastor, you don't qualify. We got the 30-year-old football player. He don't qualify.
30-year-old football player? You mean 50-year-old football player?
No, he third grader. He's a
third grader football player.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, at what point do we say we don't want to engage in this? I know this is a lot for people right now. They probably saying, what the hell is this?
I mean, it takes the masses to stand up and say enough is enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? But long as the views keep being high and Twitter feeds is going crazy and this been retweeted 10 billion times, what's going to happen? It's going to keep going over, same cycle.
But it goes back to Kanye. And this is bothering me more than anything else, right? Mm-hmm. That
Kanye, like he was in a fight right there.
I'm praying for this cat. And I'm
Why
going to say
though?
why.
Because he knows exactly what he's doing.
I don't know.
Yo,
I want to believe it.
Don, stop it.
I want to believe it, but I don't
What
know.
gives you the impression this guy don't know what he's doing?
I'll tell you what gives me the impression. He's bouncing around too much. Donald Trump just came out today. I don't know if y'all saw this.
This was a contradiction. but
Donald
go
Trump.
ahead.
Donald Trump came out today, and what did Donald Trump say?
He said Kanye needs some mental help.
Yeah,
Why the hell Donald Trump going to tell
that's
somebody
his
he needs
guy. But that's his guy.
But if anybody on the planet, Donald Trump is going to tell me I need some mental help.
But listen, man.
But-
Right.
I mean, he's qualified to be able to identify it. Granted, all you got to do is look in the mirror.
Right.
But how in the hell can this guy look at somebody else and say, that guy need to get help?
Look, listen to me. Phil. Kanye's not well.
No, I was going to ask you guys, do you think his story ends in tragedy?
Yes, 100%.
I mean,
As
it's
my
trending,
grandma-
it's trending that way, to
As
be
my
honest.
grandma would say,
It's
directly.
trending. It's trending that way.
It ends in tragedy directly.
It's trending that way.
The point is, and we're going to sit by and we're going to all say, wow, and we're going to play a bunch of his music. You know what I
He
mean?
gonna get a billion stream downloads.
Oh,
and
man,
they gonna have
the fact
Kanye
that-
Day. Chicago gonna have Kanye Day. It's
the
coming.
fact of the matter is, right, I hope somebody can sit down with him.
Mm-hmm.
I just read that President Trump said he's going to go sit down with him. Mr. Farrakhan is getting ready to sit down with him.
But they gonna go to him and Trump going to therapy together?
Wait, Trump amped him up.
I just want to know. Is him and Trump gonna go to therapy
Maybe
together?
they are, but
maybe they got couples therapy.
Trump amped him up, man. The point is, man, I wish there was somebody out here.
Kanye got rid of everybody.
Dr. Boyce Watkins, somebody.
People ran off everybody that truly loved that guy. He needs, see, unfortunately, we had this conversation last time about him. When you get on that level, you want a bunch of yes men around you. You don't want nobody that's going to tell you right from wrong, fact from fiction, truth from falsehood. You know what I mean?
But again, think about this, right? Because I grew up listening to old guys in the barbershop on 35th Street in Chicago when my mama didn't have a man. And she had dropped me off while she went to the laundromat. One of the things I heard from Mr. Wanzo, I thought was kind of, I didn't understand it then. He said, you can't have power if you don't have courage.
That's a fact.
So you can't have power if you don't have courage, right?
That's a fact.
And that's my concern. Is this a move to create an environment? I just don't know, because growing up in the inner city, growing up on the south side of Chicago, I saw some moves that I had thought were ridiculously dumb that became brilliantly strategic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that I've never seen a guy, nobody, none of us. I want everybody to listen to me. Not one of us, black, white, whatever, has ever seen a guy with this much money in America.
A black guy.
A guy. No, a guy with this much money in America attack the powers that be like Kanye West.
Okay.
Which goes back to Phil's point.
Okay, no. Okay,
Phil, something wrong with this cat, okay?
There's nothing wrong with this guy, though. I'm telling you.
I've never seen a guy with nobody in America, especially a black guy. Now, let's say
believe that.
black guy second, right?
I believe that.
There's never, I've been here a long time. You ever, with this much money, just go after everybody, right?
As they say today, I got time today. I just think really, Don, really, I truly don't think nothing's wrong with this guy. I think this guy is aware of everything he's saying and doing. I think it's purposeful. He's intending to do it. When he get this microphone in front of him, you see he stands there and he takes his time with explaining his standpoint. You know what I mean? It's no like he got Tourette's just saying something, wow, oh, F everybody. He's not doing that like that. He's explaining his points thoroughly, making them crystal clear. You think that's not a crazy person? That's not a crazy person. When you think out your actions, that goes against, think about it. People try to plead insanity, right? And the police break down and talking about how you were strategic with all your moves. You cleaned up after the scene. You hid the murder weapon. You changed your clothes. Ain't no insanity with that. You lost the insanity theory right there at that point. right? A sanity is something off the muscle you do, like Tourette's.
Right. But again, like Dean Baker saying, is that the true reaction to having
fuck you money? We seen billions with Axl Rod, right?
Right.
Right. That's a dope show, by the way. I just plugged them in. They need a sponsor.
FU money. This is FU money.
I think Kanye is getting. I think that's the real issue. If you ask me, when Kanye look and says, "I have $6 billion, I'm worth more than Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, and Michael Jordan put together." He's made this statement. No, I'm not putting words in his mouth. He's made the statement.
Right. Yeah, he has.
So now you get to the point where you think that I'm untouchable at this point. I got money.
Right.
I don't see nobody with billions die at this level at the hands of nobody.
Right.
But he forgot he black. That's the part he forgot. That's the key caveat he forgot.
Right.
There's an asterisk that comes with that $1 billion. I'm telling you. You got to pay attention to the asterisk.
And especially in our community, it goes back to something I heard as a child, right? And it's like the black community, it's like, is controlled by these zookeepers. It's like the black community.
Gatekeepers.
I'm going to use the term
zookeepers.
Right?
Oh, you talking about the ghetto. Got it.
The police is zookeeper.
Yeah, I got
City council is a zookeeper. Judges are zookeeper. Congressmen are zookeepers.
Your
right?
block captains are zookeepers.
And they create the habitat for the animals in the zoo that make the animals believe that this habitat is where they're supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's our community. And we live
In a
without
nutshell.
knowledge of not recognizing we can only do what the zookeeper allows us to do because we're in the zoo. We're controlled, man. Think about this, right? So maybe he, in the FU money mindset, right, is saying, you know what I got to lose, right? He really don't have anybody. Don't have access to his children, it seems like. You know, his baby mama, that's a dramatic scenario. His mama's gone, right? Didn't have a relationship with the other side of the family. But he's sitting on this amount of money. This is a guy who went to the Adidas meeting and played a porno movie to tell the Adidas executives, this is just, I want you to feel as uncomfortable as I feel when you steal my ideas. And he played a porno.
But do you think that's insanity? That's very strategic.
That's brilliant.
So that's what I'm saying. This guy is not crazy.
No.
He may do with things like you think is crazy, but that takes thought. That's intent.
Right.
That is strategic.
Absolutely.
There's nothing crazy about that, Don.
Right.
There's nothing crazy about this guy. He do some crazy shit. That's two different conversations.
Right.
He's not clinically insane. He's perfectly normal in that light. He may got a bipolar disorder, but when he's on the other side of bipolar disorder, he's not coming up with that scene to go on the Adidas and play a porno saying, "This is how y'all fucking me. This is how uncomfortable I am as y'all uncomfortable right now." That's not when you're on the other side of bipolar. That's when he's normal.
Right. That's with medication.
Correct. That's
Right.
when he's normal.
Okay.
That's when
Okay.
he's perfectly sane.
That's
at that
WM
point.
with medication.
Right? That's not nobody that's off their meds, somebody that needs treatment, somebody that needs therapy. When you think of something, that's actually fucking brilliant. Let's call it a spade a spade.
Right.
Right? You're stealing my ideas. That means you're taking money and food off my table.
Right.
Right? You're taking away from my legacy. You see how uncomfortable I am right now? Well, let me put this porno on. Now we even.
That's real talk. And I think we have to just really, tonight has brought me to an interesting point. Thank you, Jay. I really appreciate it because I'm thinking that these two gentlemen have become weapons of mass distraction. Now I'm thinking one of these gentlemen is a weapon of mass distraction.
I think Herschel more than Kanye. Just
Okay,
being honest.
I agree with you, right? Because I think Kanye West, and I'm going to say this, look, I didn't like the latter Kanye West music. The Kanye West on Meds music was some of the best music I've ever heard. Okay? And
But that was pre-Mama dying, too.
yeah, absolutely, right? Just a brilliant. Phil, you remember early Kanye?
Yeah, man. Those
College
first three albums,
Okay.
Kanye, Early Dropout, Late
Yeah.
Registration, and Graduation.
Yeah.
was like-
Yeah, they was dope.
like amazing.
They
right?
were dope. They were dope.
I just think that
And his early production work, too. Not just the music he made and put out. His early production work, too.
So again, My concern is that we are watching a tragedy unfold, and this is what I want to say.
You think it's like Heath Ledger?
No,
but just a black version?
I love you, bro. Bro, I love you, man. Listen to me. I was thinking that today, right? And let me just ask this question, right? Kanye West has never not said that he's always said he was a Christian, right? Mm-hmm. Where's T.D. Jakes? Is T.D. Jakes scared that
he can't steal no money from him?
Is T.D. Jakes scared that if he goes to the rescue of Kanye West, the Jews will go after him?
He can't steal no money from Kanye. That's why he ain't going.
Where's some of these powerful black preachers at this moment in this young man's life that shouldn't be going to save him and sit with him? I can tell you that A.R. Bernard,
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse can't talk no more.
I'm saying, who you saying?
The point is that I think there are a lot of people afraid that what he said that will come back and be fallout for them. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, he's meeting with Minister Farrakhan this week, which is somebody's got to save this guy. I don't want to see him dead. I want to see him medicated, putting out new music feel that we can enjoy. Because medicated Kanye was brilliant Kanye. Yes, I don't care what nobody said.
No. Absolutely.
What was the name of it? High school dropout?
No, college dropout.
College dropout.
Late registration and graduation.
Oh, how good was that?
All three
in a row.
3 in a row. And so we got to make sure that we keep young people engaged in this conversation. Listen, the Don Miller Show, Tuesday night live at YouTube, The Don Miller Show. Please subscribe and like. Please. We forgot to say it. Please subscribe and like. Tell your friends to subscribe and like.
If you logging on, you might
Jay
as well
was supposed to
like.
tell me to subscribe and like. Follow Jay at Real Rap Kane.
Instagram, YouTube, Twitter.
Subscribe and like. I'm sorry, I was supposed to say that. Quetta Jean Johnson from the Johnson family, ridiculous behavior. You're supposed to remind me. Listen, please subscribe and like.
Thanks for the shares. I seen the shares. Thanks for the shares.
Thanks for the shares. Please share. Podcast Doctor, man, thank you so much, man.
I appreciate this new digs.
Oh, man, thank you, man. You guys killed it, man. Look, we're going to take
nice.
some pictures of the studio. We're going to put them up. If you are interested in doing a podcast, there's no better place than the Podcast Doctor. I'm telling you right now, if you're interested in doing a podcast, this is like first class. All you got to do is show up, but just read something, please. Don't come in like some of these idiots. Just be on point, please.
And try to sit still because he go crazy.
He go crazy when I move fast. I'll be out here in my fancy ass suits, and he be like, dude, your suit fancy, but sit your ass still.
You know, my body went through 20 years of trauma. It's kind of hard for me to sit still in one spot.
How you have trauma on a boat?
What?
You was on a boat for 20 tight spaces. Good point. I'm sorry, I digress. I apologize for that. Thank you so much, Jay Kane. Love you, bro, man. Jay Kane, my good friend, Real Rap Kane. Thank you so much. The Podcast Doctor on all platforms. Don Miller Show at YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at The Don Miller Show. Facebook, The Don Miller Show. We'll be back Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday, if you want to watch the Don Miller radio broadcast, go to Facebook, The Don Miller Show. Click Listen Live. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you there.